What if Bree Tanner had survived? Forks Forest, minutes after the battle. The silence after the carnage was so thick that not even the birds dared to sing. The remains of the newborns burned in the fire, torn apart and consumed by flames, but one of them was still on her knees, Bree. Small, trembling, with eyes black from hunger and fear, covered in mud and ash, she whispered broken words, as if her human youth still clung to language. I don't want to die. The Volturi arrived late, on purpose. Aro learned everything with a single touch of Edward's hand. Jane, with her twisted smile, looked up at Bree. A newborn, out of control. She hasn't attacked anyone, Carlyle said firmly. She's surrendering. She's asking for another chance. What if she's lying? Jane replied. Then she'll be my responsibility, Esme said, stepping forward. Like a mother. Jane lowered her gaze. The rules are clear. But in that moment, a shadow crossed the sky. Alice, her voice as cold as the air, said, "If you kill her, the humans will know. Authorities are less than 5 minutes away. I see helicopters. I see questions. I see witnesses." Jane clenched her jaw. Aro considered. Then, with a gloved hand, simply said, "Make her disappear. Let no one see her again. Not even us." And with that, the Volturi left. The Cullens hid Bree. For weeks, she stayed in a reinforced room in the basement of the house where thirst couldn't lead her to mistakes. Carlyle fed her animal blood. Esme read her short novels. Jasper trained her. "I'm not like Bella," Bree said one day, hoarse. "You weren't like her as a human either," Jasper replied. "It's not about control, it's about purpose." Bella didn't know how to feel. Bree had tried to kill them. She had belonged to Victoria's army. But now, she saw in her a reflection of what she herself was about to become. A newborn, a newcomer, a ticking time bomb. "How do you not get lost in the thirst?" Bree asked. Bella took time to answer. "I think about what it hurts to lose." "And what did you lose?" "My mortality." "That doesn't count," Bree muttered. "I lost everything before that." Rosalie couldn't stand her. A killer in the house. Great. "She hasn't killed since she's been with us," Esme would say. "And before? How many kids like Henry? How many families?" Emmett was more cautious. "I'll give her the benefit of the doubt once, but if I see her touch Renesmee one day, I'll tear her head off without hesitation." Edward avoided Bree, not because he didn't forgive her, but because he heard her thoughts. And in them, there was so much guilt, hunger, rage, and a darker shadow, an inner voice that wasn't entirely hers. The first time Bree saw Jacob, she nearly fainted, not from fear, from thirst. The smell of hot, dense, fierce blood made her growl without meaning to. Seth intervened, standing in between, howling. And Jacob, eyes fixed on Bree, said, "This is the one they were going to kill?" "Yes," Bella said. "And we saved her." "Why?" Bree didn't answer, but Jacob looked at her for a long while. Then he said, "If you ever hurt one of ours, I'll crush your skull myself." And Bree nodded, not out of fear, out of respect. Months passed. Renesmee was born. Bella was transformed. The family grew. And Bree changed. She started talking more, reading on her own, hunting deer without help, laughing with Seth, listening to music with Emmett, writing a diary she hid under her floorboard. But she also started having nightmares. "I dream of Jane," she told Jasper, "of her red eyes staring at me, her voice saying my name. It's your subconscious warning you." "Of what?" "That the secret can't last forever." Alice didn't see it, which was never a good sign. Then one night, a letter arrived via a Romanian traveler, sealed in black wax, signed by Aro. "We know the blood still breathes. We expect the truth before we act. You have 7 days." The Cullens gathered. Carlyle was silent. Esme cried without tears. Jasper sharpened a knife, just in case. "If I leave," Bree said, "will they leave the rest alone?" "No," Edward said harshly, "because it's no longer about you. It's about whether they ever believed us. And now, if they want to punish the lie." Bella approached Bree, and for the first time, hugged her. "You're part of this, so we fight with you." But not everyone agreed. Rosalie still thought Bree should go. Jacob didn't believe they could win another war, and the Volturi were already on their way. With Jane leading, and one clear order: finish what never should have begun. 5 days later, the Volturi did not wait until the 7th day. They arrived on the 6th, not in the mist, not in secret. In the middle of the day, walking firmly, like judges approaching the gallows, Jane in front, Dimitri and Felix behind, Chelsea, arms crossed, and a new figure, Corin, with eyes like molten iron. Aro didn't come. Too vulgar for him. Rosalie whispered. The Cullens were waiting for them in the meadow, Carlisle standing, Esme by his side, Edward and Bella on guard, Alice and Jasper, unmoving, Emmett, arms crossed like columns, Renesmee, protected by Jacob, growling under his breath, and next to them, Bree, dressed in gray, hair loose, empty hands, but for the first time since her birth as a vampire, with a steady heart. "So it's true?" Jane said, stopping a few steps away. "The little one survives." "She's under our protection," Carlisle answered. "She's lived without harming a human. She feeds like we do. Your mercy is charming, but rules aren't erased by good intentions. And the exceptions you've already allowed?" Edward intervened. "Didn't intentions matter with Nawel? With Renesmee?" Jane smiled. "That was diplomacy. This is treason." Bree stepped forward. "No one expected it. If I've put this family in danger, I'll surrender." "No," Emmett growled. "Be quiet," Bree said without raising her voice. She looked Jane in the eyes. "I was attacked, turned, thrown into a war without a choice. The Cullens gave me an option. They gave me a life. And since that day, I haven't killed. Not once. And you think that erases your origin?" Jane asked, amused. "No, but I don't expect you to understand what it means for something more than power either." Edward listened to Bree's thoughts intently. There was no lie, only a silent plea. "Let them not suffer because of me." And then something changed. Chelsea raised her head. The woman who controlled bonds, who could make loyalty crumble like paper, couldn't touch the bond between Bree and the Cullens. She tried, twice, 3 times, but failed. "What's happening?" Jane asked, frowning. Chelsea, trembling, only said, "She's bound to them, truly." As if she was born here. That moment was enough. Carlisle understood it, Edward too, even Bella. Bree was no longer a newborn with a second chance. She was a Cullen. Jane slowly lowered her hand. "This day has gone in your favor, but know this, we don't forget, and we don't forgive easily." "Neither do we," Bella said, her shield still expanded like a silent wall. The Volturi retreated without a fight. For the first time since Bree could remember, no one died. That night, Bree climbed to the roof of the Cullen house. Jasper joined her in silence. "I thought I wouldn't survive," she said. "We all thought that," he answered. "What matters is that you proved you deserved to." Downstairs, Esme prepared a new bookshelf. Bella knitted scarves with Renesmee, just for fun. Carlisle wrote in his journal, and on his most recent page, he left a phrase: "The soul isn't measured by the past it drags, but by the future it chooses to build." Bree didn't forget her mistakes. She didn't erase her wounds, but she learned to live with them. And in that house, among centuries-old immortals, she was the most human of all.